in San Francisco.
Excellent. Well, I'm in Kansas City. It's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Sure, and yeah, thank you for a guy interviewing a topic that I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm, you know,
I hit all kinds of topics and professionals around. I think everything's fascinating. So I'd like to begin our conversation with 4 years ago, we were trying to wrap our heads around this global pandemic. And I'm curious, in
okay.
your line of work, how did you make it through that time period and how did it change the way that you do things?
So that's right around the time when I started thinking of what I'm doing now, NourishDoc, right? So it was a difficult time for all of us, particularly for me, in the sense like as a woman going through perimenopause, heading towards menopause, all those things were happening to me, and suddenly you're working at home, and all these issues are happening from your physical symptoms, as well as then they culminate into your mental symptoms. So right, so that's when I started realizing that this particular topic, what I'm doing, the perimenopause, postmenopause, and generally overall women's health all over the world, specifically beyond the reproductive years, is underserved. And so the way I got through this pandemic was really going into the research part and started talking to a lot of experts. And believe it or not, the pandemic didn't, I got through pandemic because I was gaining so much knowledge and doing something really positive in my life, which helped me get through the pandemic and also create this company.
So talk to me a little bit about exactly what you do. If I put you in front of a bunch of third graders at career day, and this is going to be, this will have to kind of expand your powers of explanation. It's career day, and one of the kids says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
So the third grade, I'll say, I'll help you. I help your mommies fix their anger issues.
There you go. See? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I'm curious, what did you want to be when you were a kid? What was your dream in the third grade?
So third grade, I just actually I wanted to go into the entertainment industry at that time for lack of anything else, or I wanted to be a doctor because everybody in my family, as lot of families in India, they have a lot of higher
Yeah.
respect for doctors and engineers. So I was brainwashed, I should say that oh, you're going to become a doctor, but I really didn't want to become a doctor. I wanted to go into something creative. So I did not know at that time what that meant, being going into something creative. Does that mean artist? And say, oh no, you're not going to make any money doing being an artist, right? So
Yeah.
I was confused. I honestly, you get so much brainwashed by the society and the culture that where you're growing up. I think it goes with everyone. And what is it that you want to do? You're not sure when you're a third grader because you're still trying to discover yourself as you start going up in the age, right? So
Yeah.
that was with me as well. I wasn't sure what I wanted to be because of this conflicting society, culture, family, and what is it that I want to discover myself.
Well, it's interesting because I interview a lot of people from India, and
Yeah.
there is that whole notion that there's this familial idea that you need to find prominence, you need to
Hmm.
make money, and that
Yes.
that supersedes everything else.
Yes.
So I totally get that. So how did your career begin? How did you get to a point where you decided that medicine was your route and eventually evolving into where you're at today? How did all that happen?
I didn't get into a medical college. It was a very so I tried getting into medical college when I was younger. So at that time, by fluke, I got into architecture. Believe it or not, because I told you the creativity part in me was more kind of prominent than the science or the medicine part of it. So I studied architecture, Le Corbusier, all the French architects, all the architects you can think about, and then I came here, and even in Berkeley, I studied urban planning, landscape architecture. After that, I did environmental engineering because that I felt very strong about cleaning up the environment and the urban landscapes. So now from that journey to here I am has been a roller coaster ride. It hasn't
Absolutely.
been a smooth ride, right? You can imagine I'm not doing anything what I studied. I'm completely doing something different.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. Um, what who's been a hero for you? Who's been kind of an influential person in your career choice?
So It hasn't been just one career choice. Oh, actually, for architecture, yes, Norma Benson. So she was a professor at Berkeley. I don't know if she's still alive at that time. She had written a book on Chandigarh and on some of the French architects, Le Corbusier and Marseille and all those things. I was so fascinated by that entire idea of history unraveling, and how architecture is a language that can do that. So at that time, when I wanted to study architecture, I had read a book. Even Ayn Rand, I'm sure a lot of people know about that author Ayn Rand. Atlas Shrugged is a book that I read at that time, and I was fascinated by the creation. So now, over the years, when I started practicing architecture here in United States, in fact, in Palo Alto, where I am near, so I designed a lot of homes, for rich people, very wealthy individuals. And I felt, that is just my feeling, that the society in a whole was not really aware what architecture can do. They were more like, okay, I like someone who was wealthy. I like French Normandy house, make me something like that. Or I like Tuscany Italian villa, make me something like that, right? So it's just, and I didn't want to copy a Tuscany villa, which was built like 2000 years back in Roman Empire or some of that. So I felt the creativity of a journal purpose awareness wasn't there. And that led me to go into the software, because I thought through software, if I go in, I can create something, but I can use technology to create something innovative. So that's has been a little bit of my journey of how started to discover myself, what I studied. That is something that the society didn't see it the way I wanted it, and what I started doing into a journey of where I thought I could try to make some kind of make a difference in society. I wanted to always do that. I always wanted to do something. I wanted to do something good for the society. I did not know what and which avenue would lead me in doing that.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. If you can meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find inspirational or influential, who would it be? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
I think Melinda Gates, in my mind, I think that woman has so selfless. When I see her, she is genuinely trying to make a difference in people's lives using her wealth, which, however, well, I honestly think that whenever I see her, she is not trying to, most of the rich people are trying to um, display the wealth in how they dress up and what they wear and the jewelry, all those things, right? Which we are aware of. But that is one person. Then when I see her, I see a genuine person, genuinely trying to help society and the women's lives or anyone's lives using wealth. So I think that is one person that I would really like to meet, and because I feel that she's one of the most genuine person that I can see. uh, you know, I can only see who I see as far as influencers or whatever you want to call it.
So what's your motivation every day to wake up to do the work that you do, to help other women and to evolve as a human yourself? What is that?
So I think women go through a lot. We know that through their biology. So this is something, a motivation for me to really have women speak up and speak up their mind, which women really don't do. Specifically during this phase, the mid age, I feel that women put in so much time and effort into birth, then raising the families, then taking care of everyone else, but they really ignore themselves. So this is the time where I feel in the mid years, when the kids are growing up, they need to discover themselves and express themselves, and that is something is that keeps me keeps me get going, because I think in United States still we women have a lot of freedom, but a lot of other parts of the world where women are still subservient and they're not allowed to speak anything. So this is what I am trying to do. Yes, it's an app which talks about perimenopause, menopause, but technically I don't want to really focus only on the physical things. It's the mental and the emotional and all the things that are going through in mid-age life of a woman's journey. And it just happens to be that she is in the stage of what we call perimenopause, menopause, where hormones are also creating this whole roller coaster ride, which kind of amp it up, right? The mental issues, the anxiety, the depression, the divorce, I can go on and on. But it happens to women. 50% of them have anxiety problems during this age group. 60% of the divorces in UK, this is data happening to women in the perimenopause, menopausal stage. Even the suicide rates for women are higher, 45 to 50. So all these things is not fair if the woman has given her life to raising a family and taking care of others. Why shouldn't they be able to now take care of themselves, self-care? So that's what keeps me going every day.
So talk to me a little bit about a client success story. What's one of your favorite client success stories so far?
So client success story, I think I have quite a few, but few women who actually I interviewed in a very remote place in India, where she was getting domestic abuse, but she's not educated woman. I'm talking about someone who's literally picking tea on a daily basis to, daily wages, what you call, and she barely can make a $1 a day, something like that. And that woman is getting domestic abuse at home. The husband is not working, he's drunk all the time, and she has to empower herself and feed for the family. And we were able to work through a nonprofit and educate them to really have a self-esteem and create that what you call the upskilling. That is, to me, that is a success story of not only taking care of your physical health, but also mental health and emotional health, and how you can stand up. And that's what I'm trying to do, is not just the physical part of the health, which I talk about. Our app will talk about that, but also the emotional and the mental health, and how that woman was able to stand up. I'm not, again, I shouldn't use the word against her husband, but at least stand up in front of her husband, who was alcoholic and beating her and she's subjected to domestic abuse, but she's able to stand up emotionally, physically, and mentally to say, look, I'm going to take care of myself. And that's what really a lot of women who are not educated in most parts of the world, sometimes they go through. But educated women like us, like me, have other things. A success for me is to be able to do what I want, what I'm trying to do now. That I'm myself a success story for myself, right? If you're asking me what is the biggest success story, I always also had a subservient nature, having issues with my emotions, having some kind of a childhood traumas, all that I was able to overcome, and still rediscover myself in mid-age, in a career, in a software, in a tech, where the careers are over by the time you're 40, 45, right? The young is cool, but I am able to overcome that and create an app. So I think if this app starts working, I would consider that would be a success as well for betterment of society and the women out there.
So of all of the things that you've done in your life up to this point evolved into, what are you the proudest of?
Being able to change with the times. I think I haven't, I'm a survivor in the sense, like, if things didn't go my way at that time, I did not try to resist. I tried to think about what is it that I can do to really get out of this mess and change myself to get to the next point. So I think that's what I'm proud of myself, is that I don't look back. I don't try to look at the past, because that's gone. And there have been a lot of um, instances where things were not working, but I was able to get out of it. And so that's what I think. The resilience is what I'm most proud of in myself. Resilience, persistence, and yeah.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients,
Mhm.
patients, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am just trying to make a difference. My perception of myself is I just want to try to be truthful to myself and truthful to people I live with, I work with, and I think that's perception of myself, is that I'm a truthful person. I want to do something that's truthful to whatever I'm doing, whether I'm working in the business, whether I'm working with my friends, family. So I think my perception of myself is that I'm truthful and I try to do the right thing and the right karma. I'm very scared of the karma part. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
So I'm so scared, I can't tell you. So even if the thoughts, I have bad thoughts, I think that someone else is taking a computer program up there and
Yep,
putting the right and the plus and the minus and the plus. So my perception of myself is that I try to do the right karma and I try to be truthful to everything that I do.
absolutely. So you're doing wonderful work. If anyone out there wants to hire you, they want to reach out, learn more, where can they go?
Yeah, they go to our website, www.nourishdoc.com. And earlier we were doing a lot of webinars and a lot of workshops, but now the app is coming out in a week or 2 weeks. The app is going to be super affordable, very easy for women to take it at the palm of their hands and learn how to take care of themselves, the whole awareness part. So stay tuned, but right for now, they can go to our website.
Excellent. This has been wonderful. Keep doing the great work. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Take care.